Welcome everyone to the Nimiq Proof of Stake migration.
Yeah, welcome and good morning, everyone. We're very happy that you're with us today. So if you are tuning in from the Americas, good morning. If you're tuning in from Europe, good afternoon or almost good evening. We're incredibly excited that you're with us today on this historic day. We've all been waiting for this day for a long time. And today it is finally happening. It is actually happening in almost 20 minutes. So we're really close to the migration. Nimiq will finally transition from proof of work to proof of stake. We are here with the entire team. Basically, the developers are sitting around 30 meters over there in the monitoring room, monitoring the validator infrastructure and overseeing that everything's ready. I think it's looking good and we're all ready and excited. And Martin and I, we are here to talk you through, the migration process and shed a little light on Nimiq's history, how we actually got here. So we've got a few minutes to talk. As I said, I'm not alone here this morning. Martin, welcome. Thank you for being with me today.
Thanks, Max. Couldn't be more excited to be here. We would like to take a moment just to thank everyone who's helped make today possible and welcome everyone to the Proof of Stake migration event. So first off, to everyone around the world, Nimiq is a global project operating on all continents of the world. We are super excited for everyone that participates in this project all the way from the beginning until now. Secondly, to the NIM holders, anyone who holds the token, whether you've been holding since we launched in 2018, or if you've newly acquired NIM this week, as you've seen it trending in the news, we're very grateful to have your support and we're very excited to have you with us in this monumental event. Third, to the community. Part of the most valuable members of the Nimiq project are the community, so active in Discord, Telegram, Reddit, and all the places where community lives. We are so grateful for your support and very excited to have you with us today. Fourth, to the validators, some of the most important contributors to this migration event. We are so grateful to have you with us. Could not do this without you. So welcome to all the validators running the staking pools. And then lastly, to all of our partners, the exchanges that help make the NIM token accessible to people of the world. Nimiq has a mission to make crypto payments accessible for everyone, and we could not do that without our exchange partners. So KuCoin, Gate.io, Ascendex, and all other exchanges that list NIM. We are super grateful for your support, and thank you for joining us today, making today possible. So the proof of stake migration is here. Max, tell us how we got here.
Oh, well, that was quite a journey. Nimiq as a project is in its 8th year of development. So the project was created back in 2017 with the bold vision of creating the easiest to use, most accessible blockchain payments ecosystem there is, basically. From the very beginning, we've always been very focused on, contributing technological innovation to the crypto space itself. That is deeply rooted inside our DNA. So, we've, the Nimiq team saw this, the amazing technological development that Bitcoin brought to the world. And we wanted to create, our own technological version of peer-to-peer electronic cash. Bitcoin was the very first one, on the market. We all know that. But in order to really become a scalable cryptocurrency for payments, there were just some things, that we wanted to address to make blockchain even more accessible to people. The very first development that we've contributed was the browser node. So that means that Nimiq brought a fully functioning blockchain node to any web browser. So that means basically anyone with a web browser on their mobile phone could become a true peer in the Nimiq blockchain network, removing all middlemen. That was something extremely important, and Nimiq is still building on top of that today. So also proof of stake will run in the user's browser. We're staying true to this. But from the very get-go, it was clear, and it is, as I said, deeply rooted in our DNA to, do a valuable contribution, do good to the crypto space in general. And we also wanted to make a contribution to, society. Yeah, that is also, we've got Nimiq's Impact X Foundation, which is a non-profit foundation directed towards ecological and social projects. So the idea to have an eco-friendly and very fast blockchain was there from the very beginning. But the team was also aware that, it was important to deliver a first ecosystem that is actually usable and that contributes to, Nimiq's development. And shortly after the team released the proof of work mainnet in 2018, the development for Albatross, for our own very fast optimistic consensus algorithm that we're rolling out today, started. So basically, we envisioned a proof of stake network that is, fully decentralized, makes it very easy for users to become part of the network and to stake their coins. And proof of stake makes Nimiq eco-friendly and very fast. And these are, I think, two very important developments that we are looking at. With our 1 second confirmation times, the Nimiq blockchain is lightning fast. So we have near instant payments that our users, our Nimiq users, can appreciate. And, there are so many discussions around the energy consumption of Bitcoin, and there are different perspectives that people can take. But for us, just knowing that we now have an environmental friendly technological foundation in order to roll out this payment ecosystem, that is incredibly important to us. And, as always, we've always been wanting to build original innovation. So, Nimiq's looking back at, as I said already, the browser node. We've invented cash links that allow people to send crypto to even non-crypto holders with just a little link inside the text message. We've developed Oasis, the open asset swap interaction scheme that allows non-crypto assets to be atomic swapped for crypto assets. And also with Albatross, which is an optimistic consensus algorithm, so that makes the blockchain so fast. That is basically the development that we are contributing, and it just took a long time to build it. People, it is complicated if you're outside from the crypto space to really assess and understand how much work went into this building this new beast of a blockchain by like 20 people who've been constantly working on it. And today, I can't even believe it myself that it is finally happening, and we're here today. And in just a few minutes, we are going to witness Nimiq transition from proof of work to proof of stake. Yay! But, speaking about that, Martin, maybe it might make sense to, let the community remind them once again why this is so important to Nimiq.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've said this before. It's just a monumental moment for the Nimiq community and for the project. There are so many reasons why this is a monumental moment, but I think it's very important for people, for both those who have been with us from the beginning, but also, as I mentioned, those that are new to the project this week, to understand just why Nimiq made the decision as a foundation to migrate from proof of work to proof of stake. And there are several reasons why we chose to do so. First and foremost, Nimiq is a payment coin looking to fulfill Satoshi's vision of peer-to-peer electronic cash, decentralized. And in order to do so, you have to achieve scale. We need transactions to take place quickly and efficiently. And so with proof of stake, we gain the ability to process better performance, up to 1,000 transactions per second, confirmed almost instantly. And so proof of stake helps us achieve that payment scale. Second, the biggest criticism of blockchain and cryptocurrency is the environmental impact from all the compute power required for the blockchain to operate. And so by migrating from proof of work to proof of stake, Nimiq becomes more eco-friendly. So that's very important to Nimiq, again, a nonprofit project that cares about the environment. It was important for us to make it as eco-friendly as possible. And then third, and perhaps the most exciting reason for the migration, part of the reason why everybody's here, the ability to stake your NIM. By staking your NIM, you are helping secure the network, and in reward for doing so, you are able to earn big, juicy rewards. So the ability to stake NIM, to earn APY, is much of the reason why so many people are excited to hold the NIM coin and why we are so excited about proof of stake. So with that, I'd like to ask Max, now that we're going to a proof of stake project, to a proof of stake consensus mechanism, what can NIM holders and the Nimiq community expect moving forward?
Well, for us, it's kind of a strange situation because we've been building and anticipating this moment for such a long time. that we have to remind us that this is basically not the end, but it is the beginning of a completely new era. So that means we've been working towards having this technological foundation to enable these fast, eco-friendly payments. And now we're finally going to be able to operate on this platform. And that is basically what we're going to do. Like you might know the saying, build it and they will come. At least for me personally, this is a myth. It just doesn't work like that. It just works, you have to heavily promote that Nimiq exists. You have to give it into people's hands. You have to maybe even fundamentally explain them why it makes sense to own your own digital cash in the first place. And that is basically the next step. Now that we have this payment ecosystem, it is our mission to bring it out to the public, have people use it, to connect it to as many traditional existing payment networks as possible. Because we have a pretty good setup right now. We allow people to own NIM without having to ask the question, is now the right moment to sell? Am I going to have the most expensive coffee, and go down in the history books? But no, people can simply stake their NIM, keep their original stack of NIM, funnel their staking rewards into the Nimiq Pay app, and then use the Nimiq Pay app to actually go out and buy bread, buy flowers, buy groceries, go to a restaurant. This is like the big vision that we're pursuing. And it is very important for us to get more visibility and awareness that this is actually possible. Like if you're looking outside the window, we're seeing the crypto markets, we're seeing Bitcoin pumping, and crypto is making its way back into the mainstream and back into mainstream media. And so we are getting new eyeballs from people outside of the crypto space again, which is very good.
Like we planned it.
Just like we planned it, absolutely. Like it was a 4-year plan, that a mastermind plan that is
right on time.
Right on time. Absolutely. So our mission is, to make crypto adoption seen, to bring this out into the mainstream and show people that crypto is nothing that is just, happening in the crypto space in an isolated way, but that crypto is actually happening right in front of people's doorsteps. And bringing this out into the public and making people aware of crypto payments, that is our big mission, because that will ultimately contribute to winning more users and making more users aware of crypto. And I think Cryptocity is definitely a very important contribution when it comes to achieving this goal, and will be our main target, I think, for 2025, in order to promote Nimiq, to promote crypto adoption in general, together with Bitcoin Lightning and with USDT Tether. That is basically what's going to happen. So now that the technological foundation is here, we're going full-blown crypto adoption.
So Cryptocity, you mentioned Cryptocity. I'm very excited to speak a little bit about that, because I think that's something that's very exciting for Nimiq holders and the Nimiq project that many people might not know about yet. So Cryptocity is all about equipping cities with the infrastructure to operate on cryptocurrency and blockchain. Tell us a little bit more about what that means for crypto investors, crypto builders, and general crypto enthusiasts.
Yeah, it's not only for cities, it is basically for everyone. Yeah, Cryptocity is a global crypto adoption initiative that was created and is still spearheaded by Nimiq. We were able to win lots of amazing partners, both from Europe as also from international, from Latin American countries. And we're not only equipping or enabling cities to become crypto friendly, but we are basically giving a toolkit to individuals, to groups who are trying to foster crypto adoption. And we're trying to help them and to empower them to bring, crypto awareness to their local community. So Cryptocity itself is what I would call a visibility machine for crypto adoption, tackle crypto adoption and bring the broad public into the crypto space is nothing that Nimiq as a project could do on its own, And also we see partly a strong tribalism in the crypto community. And we felt that, having a broader umbrella that is easier to understand and more friendly for people to basically interact with crypto in general and crypto payments, that this would be beneficial to our mission. And so 3 years ago, We founded 3 years ago. We founded Cryptocity. It all started in Germany, in my hometown, which is called Mannheim, and then from there it basically went into the world. We're now operating in 14 cities across 10 countries, and we're just getting started, you know. And we're bringing crypto adoption to the mainstream media, and we're going to heavily push this. And most importantly, you know, we're not only educating the users and showing that crypto adoption is happening, but we are also bringing the necessary infrastructure out into these markets. So we have lined up a network of partners, such payment providers. You know, we've got our partner Naka with us, who is enabling broad crypto payment adoption with us together. We've got like local acquirers like Nexi in Europe, and especially in Germany and Switzerland, who are looking to enable their payment infrastructure with crypto payments. And we are basically bringing all these, you know, key players together who are engaging in making crypto payments on a broad scale a reality. And we are kind of unifying them behind one movement that we think will be a key to fostering crypto adoption, not only in Europe but also around the globe. And so we're very happy in guiding this initiative, you know, and being kind of, as Nimiq, you know, we're the glue that keeps it all together, so to say. And we've got tons of interesting developments happening. And now this is the start. So we're ready to go.
Super exciting. I just came back last week from the Cryptocity, the first Cryptocity in Canada. Montreal had its kickoff event. And one of the main things, we had, you know, over 65 people attend this event on a Tuesday evening. And one thing that people were saying is so much of crypto happens behind a display picture, happens online, happens behind your laptop, when you could be living in cities with people who are just as excited about crypto as you are, but you might not even know that. So when you bring Cryptocity initiatives to life and you bring people together, real human beings in 3 dimensions, into these events to help foster Cryptocity initiative, people are so excited about the buzz and the ability to connect with like-minded individuals, to connect with potential partners, potential investors, potential co-founders for your crypto project. This is all happening as a result of the Cryptocity initiative. It's off to a very hot start. And if you are a person that wants to become an ambassador for Cryptocity, if you would like to equip your city with the infrastructure to have a cryptocurrency environment to complement the fiat systems that exist in our world, you can do so by visiting cryptocity.network. That is the main website for the Cryptocity initiative. And then you can also find the various cities in your country. It is likely that there is already a Cryptocity in your country. So connect with your fellow country people and help bring Cryptocities to the world. So we're super excited about that. Max, how else can people get involved with Cryptocity?
Well, you know, there are tons of ways to get involved. As I've said, it actually doesn't matter where you're from or what you're doing. If you're just an individual saying, I am alone, but I live in this city, you know, we've got a vibrant ecosystem of shops and restaurants, and it would be cool to incorporate crypto payments and make, you know, your town or your city stand out in terms of crypto adoption. You can basically reach out to us and we'll help you get started. We've got marketing materials, we've got all these partners, and we'll kind of sit down together and develop a strategy on how you can get active, attract co-founders or have your own little group. You know, this is like there are crypto-friendly ecosystems, circular economies around the world. But if you want to start something like that, don't underestimate the amount of work and time that has to go into it to build the foundation. You need a web platform. You need an acceptance map. You know, these are all things that are not easy to do, and we are basically delivering this turnkey. So yeah, we're just serving it to you. It is 100% free. Cryptocity is a non-profit initiative. Of course, some of our partners are making money with this, but fostering crypto adoption and working towards this broad vision and goal, everything we're doing in terms of crypto, promoting crypto adoption is non-profit for us. So we're really also here want to make an important contribution. If you are a service provider who wants to, you know, present your products and solutions, crypto ADMs, crypto payment infrastructure, swapping services, whatever it might be, if it has real world applications, you're perfect in our family. So just, you know, visit cryptocity.network, send us a message via the partner form, And we'll just sit together and find out what we can do together and how we can work together. And of course, if you happen to work in a city administration and you think, wow, that is really cool. I've seen cities like Lugano take off on crypto payments, or Ljubljana with almost 700 acceptance locations. We want to do the same and make our city stand out through crypto adoption. You're also very welcome. Just drop us a message and we'll sit together and see how we can collaborate in the future. It is a global crypto adoption initiative for everyone. And we're really, I really want to emphasize on this, because you just need enough motivation to get going and we can make it happen together.
It's so cool to see too. Some of the crypto cities are popping up in countries that are less banked. For instance, Cryptocity in Tangi, Africa. How many people have participated in Tangi in Africa? Hundreds of merchants, I believe.
Yeah, I think Tangi in Gambia is a very good example. One day in my Telegram, I just received a message from some guy in Africa telling us, oh yeah, he's seen what we are doing in Germany, in Mannheim, and he would love to have such an initiative to bring it to his hometown in Africa. And so basically we did exactly what I just told you. So we created Cryptocity.Africa as a platform for crypto adoption in Africa. Abdu, this is the guy's name. Like, he founded his own crypto agency, AJ Crypto Agency. So they are doing, OTC, cryptocurrency buying and selling. They're guiding people to creating their first wallets and get started in crypto. And he has built up his own little team of, I think it's now almost 10 people who go out, do crypto onboardings, do crypto consultancy. And within only 1 year, they have ramped up over 650 merchants, from hairdressers, butchers, supermarkets, construction businesses in Tangi and Banjul, who accept NIM and Bitcoin payments. And I think that is, a one-of-a-kind example how this is meant to, take place. If you're interested, just reach out to us. We'll give you the tools. And then, of course, it always depends on your own capacity and what you can do with your group or as an individual. But it also proves if there are like-minded people who share this vision, of broad crypto payments and a city interacting with crypto, then it is easy to build and a lot of things can be made. And I think up to his team and what is happening with Cryptocity Africa in Gambia is a picture-perfect example of how we envision to expand Cryptocity over the next months and years.
Very cool. Just another example that cryptocurrency is so much more than an investment use case. There are places, one of the biggest places where crypto adoption thrives is in emerging markets. And so that's where we're seeing a lot of traction in regard to the Cryptocity initiative, but also with crypto adoption. So as Max mentioned, there is an interactive map. So I encourage you to check out cryptocity.network. Check out the map, first of all, to see all of the crypto acceptance points in your own city, wherever you live. And then also consider this as an option for crypto tourism. There's a massive crypto tourism community of people that will travel around the world using only crypto. And so if you use that Cryptocity map, you can see cities which have acceptance points for Bitcoin, NIM, and other cryptocurrencies. And you can use those as a travel planner for yourself to engage in some crypto tourism. So that's such a cool secondary element to the Cryptocity initiative. Okay, so let's get back to the reason why we're all here. The Nimiq Proof of Stake migration is just moments away. We could not be more excited for this monumental moment. So we're going to take a short break on this live stream, but do not close the link, because we're going to return to the migration monitoring call. Max and myself are going to head back to join the rest of the team just meters away to witness the final moments take place. And if you would like to do so from a technical perspective, to watch the block production take place, check out the Nimiq X profile. In the top pinned tweet, there's a new location for the monitoring dashboard. You can click that monitoring dashboard link and witness the block production live yourself. So we're going to head over and do that together with the rest of the team. But I just wanted to say one more time, share this link with your friends. It's not every day that your favorite project goes through a massive monumental migration like this. We couldn't be more excited for it to take place. Witness it live in just moments with us on the migration monitoring call. And then lastly, jump in to Telegram and Discord to participate with other members of the community who are so excited for about what's to take place. The hashtag we're using is Nimiq Proof of Stake. So if you're trending on X, use the hashtag Nimiq Proof of Stake to engage, be part of the movement, be part of the event, and get excited for it. So short break here on the live stream. Don't close the stream. Share the stream with your friends, and we'll join you in moments for the Nimiq migration to Proof of Stake. Thanks everyone again for being here.
Thank you guys. See you on Proof of Stake.
See you shortly.
Richie, communication leads at Nimiq, and I'm here with Claudio, blockchain engineer of the team. We are getting ready for the final step of the migration to proof of stake. Claudio, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here to watch and be part of this final transition from proof of work to proof of stake. So right now we have the first candidate block that is mined. So we are at block 3456000. So we are just starting the activation phase of the migration.
Okay, nice. So tell us, Claudio, what is the current state of the migration? Because I know that this started some time ago, right?
Yes. So right now we have more than 99% of validators who reported us online. So this basically means that during the last 3 days, the validators were already running a tool that we developed that we call the POW migration tool. So they have been running this tool for several days. And in the last previous 3 days, they started reporting us online. So we have right now 99.36% of the validators online, and they are just waiting for this moment for the candidate block to arrive.
Okay, thanks a lot. So now we should wait until the actual candidate block, or is it already here?
So we are waiting for the actual candidate block, but also we have to wait for more confirmations because to be safe, right? Since this is a proof of work chain, we could have three branches or so we have to wait for 10 confirmation just to be make sure that this is the candidate block that we are going to use for the state migration from proof of work to proof of stake.
Thank you, Claudio. And we're sorry about if there's some noise in the back. We are in the middle of the monitoring room with a lot of other developers. So there's a lot of probably people talking about what's going on and what's coming next. So um, what's going to be like for the entire migration? What do you expect?
Yes. So the process is as follow. So right now we selected one specific block in the proof of work chain that we call the candidate block. This is the block 3456000. So this is a special block that we selected where we are going to take all the state that we have in proof of work. So we are going to take all the accounts, all the balances, all the history prior to this block. And with this block, we are going to start constructing the Genesis block of the proof of stake chain. So remember that we are not launching a new chain. This is a new. It's not a new token. This is just a continuation of the proof or work chain, but with a different consensus protocol, the proof of stake. So we are using this block as the endpoint of all the state that we capture from proof of work. And with this block, we are going to start the proof of stake chain. But as I said, we will have all the balances, all the accounts, all the even the history that occurred in proof of work. It will be accessible from proof of stake.
That's very cool. So basically, the entire history of proof of work is kept intact, right?
Exactly. So we decided to also migrate the history, so that users, when they open their wallets, they will be able to retrieve and look for all the historical data of the transactions that they have used in the proof of work chain, and this is also going to be available. And apart from that, we are going to continue the chain, meaning that the first block that is going to be produced in proof of stake is the block after the candidate. So it's going to be 3456001. So it's just a continuation of the chain what we are aiming for.
Okay, and that is why Nimiq users that did not pre-stake or anything, they didn't have to do anything. Their balance is it remains intact in the proof of stake network because it's the same token.
Exactly. So it's exactly the same. So we started a pre-stake campaign that, of course, it was optional. People could participate of the pre-staking. But now, when the proof of stake chain is running, you can also stake your name if you didn't before, and also you will be able to see all the balances and all the state, all the transaction history. Everything is going to be there. So we decided to do this as smooth as possible.
For people listening that joined the pre-staking campaign, after the migration has been successful and the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain is stable, we will be processing the rewards and we will be selecting the winners of the giveaways. So this is going to take us some time. As we shared already publicly, this is going to be up to 3 months. So stay tuned in next. We will be informing how we select the winners and all the process, and you'll be able to see there if you won or not. Thanks for everybody that pre-stake, because as Claudio just mentioned, this was optional, and it basically shows the commitment of the entire Nimiq community to the switch to proof of stake, because the amount that we have pre-stake is actually quite a good amount, right, in comparison to other processes that are similar. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so right now in the pre-stake campaign, we were able to achieve almost the 50% of the circulating supply of the Nimiq network. So it's a really high and good number.
So pretty much half of all the NIM that is right now in circulation is locked in pre-staking, right?
Exactly. It's locked in pre-staking. After the proof of stake chain is live, those who pre-stake, they are able, of course, to use those funds or to pre-stake to or stake to another validator. And also those who didn't participate in the pre-stake phase, they're going to be able to stake to any of the validators. We have 47 registered validators. And we expect to even have more validators once the chain is alive.
And from those, there are validators that are just validators, and also there are validators that are pool staking pools. Sorry, and users get to select which one they choose, right? Can we
Exactly.
talk a little bit how maybe to select a staking pool?
Yeah, exactly. So we have pool operators, right? Something to clarify here is that the rewards of staking is something that is handled off chain, meaning that each pool or each validator operator can decide how to give those funds to those who are staking. And this is completely off chain, is nothing that we are enforcing in the protocol. And users can decide to either stake to pools, or also there are individuals who are running their own validators, and it's also possible to stake for them. So in this way, we have the flexibility for users to choose and decide what's more convenient for them, if using pools or using individual validators. And even we anticipate that some services to run for a person to run their own validator. And yeah, this is part of the exciting news that they will come with the proof of stake chain.
Also from the community side, I invite everybody to join our Discord. Is discord.gg/Nimiq. There's a channel in for each of the staking pools in Discord, so you can go in and meet the staking pool community. Each staking pool will have its own community, have its own type of like their vibe, I would say. So you can join and also talk with the developers behind the staking pool. There are some staking pools that are enabling some advanced features, like for example, automatic restaking is one that is pretty nice. There's also, I know, one pool that is enabling flexible or dynamic fees, where the fee depends on the amount that the pool has staked. And how does that work? Because then a pool that has a lot of stake, or a pool that is representing a lot of stake, eventually could become not so healthy for the proof of stake landscape.
Yes. So basically, what we aim for is to have the even the stake distribution, or as even as possible, meaning that we don't have like a big validator that owns a lot of the stake, because this could impact the security of the network. So what we try to achieve is an even distribution where we don't have a big validator, and in this way, by staking, people not they can get rewards, but also they are helping securing the network itself, which is actually the most important aspect of the staking itself, is the security of the network.
In when you take that into account, remember, or well, keep in mind that we have a score in the wallet that you'll be able to see, and this score tells you a little bit how staking for each pool will help the network itself. And the way this works is basically that there's like different ratings here, and that will help you decide as one of the factors. Another one is the fee, that is not controlled right by the blockchain itself, it's controlled by the pool, because the on-chain rewards are given to the pool operator, and then the pool is the one in charge of distributing that for the stakers, right?
Exactly. Yes. As I mentioned before, the handling of the rewards is something that is done off chain, and of course, pool operators they can distribute those rewards using different strategies. Also, it depends of the cost of operating a pool and also the amount of rewards they can get. In the proof of stake algorithms, those validators who have more stake, they get more chances to produce blocks and get rewards. But also at the same time, as I mentioned before, we don't want to have like a really big validator over the over the rest of the validators. So we really want to have like an even distribution to help secure the network. And yes, and pool operators, well, they decide. Some they can pay rewards on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. I mean, it's up to them how to do it.
So users should really look into each pool, the information that they have. Pools usually have a website available where you can see all the information. And as I said, talk with the community, talk with the developers, do some, explore them a little bit and decide which pool. But if you pick a pool that eventually you don't like anymore for some reason, you want to switch to a new one, people can always unstake, right?
Exactly. So it's always possible to unstake and switch to another validator. It's also possible to increase the stake at any point in time. And yeah, both operations are available, so users can decide what's the best for them.
And in terms of unstaking, I understand there's some time frame that
Yes.
users need to take into account.
Yes, exactly. So for the unstaking part, the first step is to send the unstake transaction that is going to be available in the wallet. But then there is a period of time where those funds are not available yet, but the users will need to wait for a period of time after which they can retrieve those funds and then use them.
Yeah, so after this time frame, the funds are available again for the users, and then they can stake them wherever they want. But if I want to increase the stake, that doesn't.
Yeah, if you just want to increase the stake, you can do it at any time, and there's no like the period of or a time window that you have to wait. You can just do it at any time, and you can increase the stake as needed.
Perfect. And for anybody that might be getting to know Nimiq for the first time in this live stream or recently, what's the minimum amount of stake that can be staked in the Nimiq Proof of Stake network?
So right now it's 100 NIM, the minimum amount of the stake. So any amount above the minimum, it's of course acceptable, and yeah, and you can, as we already mentioned, you can stake, you can switch validators, you can increase the stake full flexibility there. During the pre-staking phase, though, which is something that we can mention, is that during this phase in the wallet, it was not possible to retire the stake, and those who pre-stake they had to wait until the proof of stake chain is alive in order to unstake and use those funds.
This is something similar to what Ethereum did actually.
Yes.
With the merge, right? They allowed people to stake before proof of stake went live, but they couldn't unstake until it was live actually, because transactions were not available yet in the proof of stake chain, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so essentially, what is happening here is that those who pre-stake, they are locking the funds and waiting for the proof of stake chain to go live to be able to retrieve and use those funds.
Okay. And as soon then as the proof of stake chain is live, people that pre-stake, they will have their NIM now staking, and they will receive on-chain rewards, right?
Exactly. And I think our pre-stake campaign it ran for a little bit more than a month. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was quite a success in comparing. There's a lot of different aspects that one can compare, but one specific one, which is the percentage of the circulating supply that is staked. That was pretty high. We had, I guess, it was not. I guess, I mean, it was like around 2 billion NIM in the first 24 hours, almost. And then we eventually got all the way to close to 50% of the circulating supply, like we said. And I think for Ethereum cases, that was actually like much less, right?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. And maybe we can give some context about how this whole migration process worked. So the first phase of the migration process was what we call the validator registration, where each validator who wanted to participate in this migration process, they had to register. And this means that they had to use a special tool to send the registered transactions into the network, and also they had to pay the deposit, the validator deposit, in order to be considered as fully registered. They did that during, I think, a 2 week period. And just after that, we started with the pre-stake phase. So the pre-stake phase was opened from the wallet. It was enabled in the wallet. So any NIM holder could pre-stake to any of the 47 pre-registered validators. And nowadays, and now we are just in the last phase of this migration, where we are just, as mentioned, we are just waiting for the confirmations of the first candidate block. And we have more than 99% of the validators online, and they are all waiting for these confirmations. And when this happens, then they will start computing the Genesis block, the first Genesis block for the proof of stake chain.
Hmm. Yeah, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it that way. For the proof of stake chain to go live, there has to be stake. For stake to be staked, there has to be validators so that you stake to. So then, before the pre-stake, had to come a pre-staking, validator registration phase. So when pre-staking came, then users were able to stake in a validator that was already registered for the migration. But also something that started months before was the CKP ceremony, right? Because zero knowledge proof CKP is a technology that we're using for browser clients. So maybe if you want to quickly explain a little bit about the ceremony and CKP in general.
Yes, the ceremony, the CKP ceremony had 2 phases, and it ran during several months, during which we have many contributions for lots of people around the globe. Essentially, we use CKPs as a way to prove a chain of blocks in our blockchain, specifically something that we call macro blocks. And we use it in a way to prove really fast the last macro block of the chain. And in this way, the web browsers, who they don't have the whole history, they are able to connect and sync in really fast. And they so finally the web nodes, they are used by the wallet. So essentially, just to make a summary, this is used in the wallet for users, so they can fast and easily just open the wallet and see all the transactions. And internally, underneath, we are using CKPs to prove this chain. The ceremony, I think, started. I don't remember the exact days, but I think it was December last year, and it lasted until July
I think
this
you
year.
like, yes.
Something.
So it was over 6 months, I would say.
It was over 6 months. Yes.
Yeah, and we had developers from all around the world contributing to this randomness event, let's say, right?
Exactly, because how the CKP keys are generated, we needed a good amount of entropy, and basically we developed like a special binary that those who wanted to contribute ran in their computers, and then we collected all the information. We collected all the information for them, and then we created these keys in a secure manner. It's also worth to mention that this process is something that could be reused by other blockchains using the same parts that we are using.
Ah, that's great. So for anybody out there that is a developer in a blockchain project and is working with CKPs, take a look, join our community, and we can talk more about that. Right now, we're waiting for the 10 confirmations, and we're getting signs from the rest of the technical team that is here with us that this is getting closer. We can
Yes.
see here in the screen what is the current block.
Yes, so right here in the screen, what we are looking at is we have a terminal with one of these validators that we are running. This is the migration tool that I mentioned before. So we can see exactly how it looks from a technical perspective. And what this migration tool is currently showing is that we are at block 3456007. So remember that at 3456010, they are going to start computing the Genesis block. So we are 3 blocks away from the validators to start creating the Genesis block.
That's great. So kind of statistically 3 minutes away, but this can change a little bit. And we're getting some blocks over a minute right now, which sometimes they are under a minute, over a minute. It always happens like that with proof of work chains. So it's going to be roughly 3 more minutes. Maybe we can talk a bit about why these 10 minutes, or not 10 minutes, 10 confirmations are required after the candidate block?
Yes, this is just a security check that we wanted to add because if we started creating the Genesis block right away, it could happen, as it can happen with any block, that it gets rebranched. So we just wanted to have 10 blocks to reduce a lot the probability of this happening. So when after these 10 blocks, we are sure that the state that we are considering for proof of stake is not going to be rebranched away, and it's finalized. So this is just a security check. Right now, we just need 3 more blocks, and when this happens, then we are going to start creating the Genesis block.
Mm.
It's worth to mention that the block times or the target block times in the Nimiq Proof of Work chain is around 1 minute, but right now there's a little bit of let's say instability because of what's happening, and then some miners leaving and others joining, etc. So right now the block times is not exactly 1 minute, but we are really soon. As I said, it's just 3 more blocks.
Yep, we are getting closer. 3 more blocks to the last step of the migration to proof of stake. And while that happens, what is going to happen exactly then when in 3 blocks, right? When the 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0, no 0, 10 gets here.
Just when the 010 block gets mined, then all the validators that are running this same tool, they are going to realize that we are past the 10 confirmations. So now they are ready to start creating the Genesis block. This means that we use the candidate block as the final snapshot of the proof of work chain. So they are going to start collecting all the accounts, all the balances, all the vesting contracts, all the HTLCs, all the history that happened in proof of work. And with all this information, they are going to start computing the Genesis block for proof of stake chain. It's worth to mention that this is not a new chain, this is not a new coin, it's just a continuation of what we had. And that's why all the balances and all of this state is going to be there available right from the beginning of the proof of stake chain.
Yeah, in a comparison, the actual launch of the Nimiq mainnet was 2018 when it was launched with proof of work, and we had a launch. It was quite different because there was not a blockchain running. There was a testnet running, and then the testnet it started with block number 1. A fun fact there is that if you go and check block number 1 in a blockchain explorer, that blockchain has in the memory or in the text field, it has a word written down in the word love in different languages, showcasing a little bit the global aspect of Nimiq, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
in this case, the Genesis block is going to look really different because in this case, this Genesis block is going to contain all the accounts and all the balances that have occurred in the last 5, 6 years of the proof of work chain.
so it's quite a lot of information.
It's a lot of information, and that means that it's going to take a while for the validators to compute and create this block because it's a lot of data that they need to extract from the proof of work chain, and they need to condensate all this data into the Genesis block.
Mhm. And what we are looking at below, the ready percentage, here each one of these is a validator, right?
Exactly. So each of those addresses that you can see down in the screen, it's one of the registered validators that they are waiting for these confirmations to start creating the Genesis block. Once we have the 10 confirmations, they're going to start creating the Genesis block, and they are going to start reporting once they finished creating the Genesis block as ready. And we are going to see live happening right here.
Yeah, that's very very cool. And we are getting closer. 3 blocks still left to be
Exactly.
mined. And as we get there, then let's talk what will happen after proof of stake start producing blocks. There's going to be some final technical steps, right, that you need to work on.
Yes. So after proof of stake is live, we are going to commit this important Genesis block into the repository, and with this, we are going to create the first official release of the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain, so that anyone can use this official release to connect to the network as the validators or as nodes or however they want. And that's like the final step of the migration process itself. Of course, after that, we are going to keep improving improving the protocol, the client, etc. But essentially today we can say that the activation phase is concluded when we have this final release and the Genesis block committed to the repository.
Okay, I noticed that the block 08 just got
Exactly,
mined.
exactly. So we are just 2 blocks away from the 10 confirmations that we are waiting for, and once we get those last 2 blocks, then all validators are going to start creating the Genesis block.
That's great. So let's talk a second about security, about the tests that you've been doing, because this is the first time we do this migration live, right? But we've done it privately and publicly with our community a bunch of times. So tell us what is like the preparation, bug bounty, peer-reviewed process, everything that went into security and testing of this migration, and also the proof of stake code base itself.
Yes, so for the code itself, we did several audits. Also, we ran like a bug hunting program. Also, we have a set of continuous integration tools where we are constantly testing the code, running different scenarios. We also had a public testnet that ran for more than a year, and also we exercised the whole migration process several times. In one of these exercises, we included the community, so we actually exercised or we went through this process using some of the community's validators, and also internally we also did plenty of tests to create this Genesis block and verify that everything is correct, right? So yeah, that's part of the testing that we did.
Yeah, and also there is still running a public bug bounty program. We collaborate with HackerOne, one of the biggest hacker networks out there. We did with them a private code review, right, and also like a code audit. And also we have an open bug bounty program. So people, hackers, developers from the world are still able to go, white hat hackers. They can go look into the code and get deep into what makes Nimiq Proof of Stake operate, how does it work, and then if you find any issues, any security improvements, anything that you would like to add, there's a bounty on this. How does that work? The part of submitting a bounty, and there's some review process there. If you want to
Yeah,
talk about it.
exactly. There are some rules, of course, of what we consider that could be part of this bounty program, right? And yeah, and there's like a review process where we make sure like if the person that is submitting the like or reporting the bug, if it's an actual bug and it's under the rules that we have, and if it is, then we analyze it, and yeah, and there are like different prices for those who report bugs, depending on the severity of those bugs. Of course, there are like really easy or low hanging fruit bugs, but there are also like more critical bugs, and of course they have a higher severity.
Yeah, this is very valuable, especially for an open source project like us. If you remember, if you've been part so far of the journey of Nimiq in the launch to proof of work, we also had a public bug bounty program. So this is the second time that we collaborate with HackerOne, and this is all in the effort to make the Nimiq chain as secure as possible. Right, we've taken every measure to make this secure, and peer reviewed with community members and with hackers around the world. So that's a very important step. All the tests that have been going through, and now we're just waiting for a couple more blocks to be mined. And this could take maybe hopefully a couple more minutes, but also it depends on the stability of the hash rate of proof of work, right? As Claudio mentioned, hash rate is increasing and decreasing. Some miners are leaving because we are about to migrate to proof of stake. But at the same time, if the hash rate goes down, then more miners will join because it is easier to mine the next block. So it's profitable, but it's just the last 2 blocks of this chain if everything goes successful. So we expect this to be, happening in the next 10 minutes.
Yes. Something to mention is that we as a team we are doing this transition to proof of stake, and then our focus and effort is going to be in proof of stake. But of course, due to the nature of Nimiq as a project being open source, then also miners they are, if they want, they can also just continue the proof of work chain, right? It's something that they can decide to do. However, we, as I said, our effort will be basically to keep improving and adding more features to the proof of stake chain.
Now the focus goes into proof of stake because for real life payments, the performance is way better. 1 second confirmations, as Martin and Max shared before. Also, the energy consumption is way less in comparison to proof of work, and performance increases greatly. So maybe if we talk about performance also, the I know that you've been stress testing the network for quite some time. And how does that look like? I mean, you don't expect probably the same conditions when this is live, but you of course tested this with like different aspects and different variables.
Right. So in terms of performance, the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain, it has a block time of 1 second. That's the target block time. We have two different kind of blocks. One that we call micro blocks, and those are produced, as I said, in a target time of 1 second. But we also have other kind of blocks that are called macro blocks, and they can take a little bit more to be produced, but they are really important because they cannot be reverted. We have macro logs every minute. So meaning that once we have a macro, there cannot be no rebranches. So the transactions that were included previously, they cannot be reverted. So people can make sure, and they can confirm those transactions once every minute, essentially, as that they are never going to be reverted. So that's a really important step, and we have blocks every second. Each of those blocks can carry up to 700 transactions. So it's a lot more performant than what we currently have in proof of work.
That's super good. So um, then when we go about thinking of proof of stake actually being used for users, users are going to be able to stake in the Nimiq wallet, but this is also like, of course, in the Nimiq wallet, it gives you a platform to send the transaction to the blockchain. But the staking is also allowed, or supported, can be supported by any other wallet. Right now, we are collaborating with Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet will enable is participating in the migration as well. So shout out to the people in Trust Wallet. Thanks a lot for the community members who made also Trust Wallet possible. Thank you, Vasconcelos, and also Richard Terori, who has been supporting Nimiq for a long time, and they were the ones actually that started the Trust Wallet support. They helped launching the node and supporting it and maintaining it. So this is great. This is a community effort. And Trust Wallet is going to be supporting NIM as soon as possible. We are going to be informing that in next, so stay tuned to that. And we hope also for Trust Wallet and for other third-party services to be staking or support staking as soon as possible. Right now, as we migrate, the Nimiq wallet is going to be the primary platform where users can stake. But in the future, we hope Trust Wallet, maybe exchanges as well, will be able to allow users to do on-chain staking. But as soon as it launches, then we will be giving access to the users to the Nimiq wallet again, and they'll be able to join there. So if you want to maybe just mention, you mentioned before, but the transactions that are involved when one starts staking and then unstaking, you know.
Exactly. So, on staking is like a two-step process, where first we send a transaction to indicate that you want to on stake, but those funds are going to be available after a time window, and then when that time window elapses, then you can retrieve and use those funds.
Mhm.
So it's like so it's not that immediately you can get those funds that you staked, but you have to wait for this time window, and then those funds are available to you.
Okay, that's great, and that's how it works when everything is going according to plan. But there are some protocol rules to ensure the integrity of the network, right? Maybe we quickly talk about those. If, for example, a validator goes offline and I'm staking for that validator, like a staking pool, and wow, okay, everybody's
So
celebrating here. We're one block
one
away.
block away.
Mhm. So one more block to be mined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, one more block to be mined to reach the goal of 10 confirmations. And after this last block is mined, then all validators are going to start computing the Genesis block.
Claudio, I'm getting the jitters. We're one block away.
Exactly.
Like
one more
this is
block
as
away.
close as we've ever been to proof of
Yes.
stake.
Exactly. So it's
Okay,
just
you
one
can
block
feel
away.
the energy here. Everybody in the control room is getting, very excited. And we're just one block away. This will be mine at any moment. So we'll keep talking a little bit here about how the protocol works. But at any moment we are going to finish these 10 blocks. Let's go over it again.
Yeah.
The 10 block confirmation ends, and then what's the next step?
Yes, so once we reach this 10 block confirmations goal, all the validators are going to start creating the Genesis block for proof of stake. They are going to do this using the state of the candidate block. So we are going back to the candidate block, which was the block 3456000. And from this block, we are going to get all the accounts, all the balances, all the vesting contracts, all the state from proof of work. And we are going to create this Genesis block for proof of stake. Remember that this is not a new chain, not a new token. This is just a continuation of what we already have, and that's why we are migrating all the state, and also all the history is going to be available.
Okay, so going back to the question that I had before, if I'm staking for a staking pool and then I stop receiving rewards and I find that the staking pool went offline, what will happen to the staking pool, to my funds, and how does that work?
Yes, so basically what happens is that validators are expected to produce blocks, and if they are offline or they do not produce the corresponding block in time, then they are a skid block, meaning that other validators are going to take that slot and they are going to produce the block. So that validator basically loses the rewards that corresponds to the block that they had to produce. Something important to mention is that in the Nimiq protocol, there's no slashing. So basically, we do not punish those validators who were skid block, but they just lose the reward. Of course, there's some malicious behavior that we do punish, but it's not related just to be a skid block or to be offline when you had to produce the block.
Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to ask is, your funds, you always are in custody of your funds. You're delegating your funds, basically signing a transaction that says to a staking pool, hey, you can talk on behalf of my funds, but they are mine, right?
Exactly.
So if a validator goes offline, I can just unstake and go to
Exactly.
another
Yeah,
validator.
of course. Yes, yes. That's always possible, and also that's also why we are going to have the trust score in the wallet. So you can, this score is going to be computed and calculated based on the percentage of how well behaved is the validator, if he's online, if he's producing the blocks as expected. And that's part of the information that is going to be available to users, so
Yeah,
they can make the best decision on where to stake.
Yeah, sharing there some teasers about what you'll see in the wallet. We have a score, like Claudio is mentioning. There are things like uptime there that needs to be into consideration. Like, for example, yes, if a pool goes offline all the time, maybe you'll want to know about this. So we guide users in that way by having a score. There's also a score that is very interesting, that is the dominance score. So if a pool has a lot of stake in comparison to the other pools, so it's becoming a centralized pool. Is a lot of people are staking to the same pool. We will have a score that says the dominance of this staking pool is too high. Maybe you want to go for a different pool, because that will help the network more. So it helps users also to identify which pools are better for the network if you stake for, right? So those are like some recommendations that we have. So if a validator goes offline, basically your funds are safe. You can unstake if you want, and the validator will not be like punished, but it will be taken out of the show, let's say. And how often are the elections done? Like the slots are decided for people that are familiar to proof of stake networks. This is the epoch, right?
Exactly. So every 12 hours we have a new epoch, and this means that every 12 hours we have a new set of validators who are going to produce blocks for that subsequent epoch. Of course, we can have new validators. So it could be that in the second epoch of the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain, there's new validators joining the network, and that's perfectly fine. So every 12 hours, then we recalculate which validators are going to be the ones producing blocks during the next epoch. Nimiq Proof of Chain, we have 12 hours epochs.
So important to know there when we say we is we Nimiq the community, the network. Like
Exactly.
we all basically the network does this with its algorithm, right?
Exactly.
The centralized algorithm that then helps select the validators and keep it decentralized. And when new slots are selected, then validators get a chance to produce blocks, and they will get rewards, right?
Exactly. So the chance of a validator being selected to produce blocks depends upon the stake that they have. So validators with a higher stake, they have more chances to produce blocks than those who don't have that much stake. And as I said, the validator set. So basically, those validators who are able to produce blocks in a given epoch, they are recomputed and recalculated every 12 hours.
Mhm. And what happens if a validator is not selected for a slot? They don't get rewards.
Exactly. Validators get rewards only for blocks that they produced. So if the validator is not selected for a specific slot, then it doesn't get rewards.
Okay, okay, that's great. Thanks a lot. Wanted to send a shout out to all the validator operators that are out there. Everybody's watching this screen, not this screen, but the same type of outputs, right? This is what you're looking at here is the same output that a validator operator basically is seeing in their server. And we have right now, what is 40, 45 maybe validators participating in the migration?
Yes, I think we have, if I recall correctly, 47 validators that registered, but not all of them, but almost all of them. Right? We have 99.36% of those validators who are now in this moment running the tool, and they're all waiting for this last block to be mined.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's really amazing to have that level of participation.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. To be clear, there is the validators representing 99% of the total
A
stake,
Mhm.
and the stake is half approximately of the circulating supply of name.
Exactly.
So yes, as you're saying, like that's an incredible level of commitment of the community. Everybody is really behind proof of stake and is looking forward to what is coming in just one more block.
Exactly. So I think we are all just waiting for this block to be mined, and then all validators are going to start generating the Genesis block. So it's really exciting to be here and watch this live.
So let's go over things that change in proof of stake in comparison to proof of work. So let's see. So the block time, right? The time for confirmation, 1 minute to 1 second. Yeah.
Mhm.
The
So
energy.
remember that blocks are produced every second, but until the next macro lock is produced, which is one they are produced every minute. Once that macro lock is produced, then it means that the transactions and everything that happened prior to that macro lock cannot be reverted. So every minute we have like completely, we are sure that what happened before that is not going to be reverted. So that's really good, and it's really fast, right, compared to what we have with the proof of work chain. And also we have blocks every second.
So that's what you call finality.
Exactly. So we have finality every minute, which is each macro lock.
So confirmation every second, finality
Well,
every
we
minute.
have blocks every second, but it's of course good just to wait a little bit more blocks in order to consider something as confirmed. But if not, every minute you are going to have cryptographic proof of the finality. So the longest that you have to wait is just 1 minute, then you have a cryptographic proof that is not going to be reverted.
Okay, so miners. In proof of work, we have miners, and in proof of stake, of course, no. We
No.
have stakers.
And
Um,
validators.
and staking and validating. Yeah,
Exactly.
validators are the new miners. Well, and stakers are also miners in a way, but right now the ones that are actually doing the validation and running a server are the validator operators.
Exactly.
What else? Let's see. The address, the Nimiq address. Is that going to change from proof of work to proof of stake?
It's going to be the same Nimiq address that you are already familiar, NQ right? And then some numbers and letters is exactly the same address, and even the transaction hashes, we are preserving the transaction hashes from proof of work, so you can easily look for transactions and look into the history. So nothing like to change there. So it's going to be the same transaction hash.
Okay. For the technical users, the API did change to the Nimiq node, right?
Well, a little bit, because now we have more functionality. We have the validators, we have the stakers, so there's like different information that people can retrieve in terms to get more knowledge of how the proof of stake chain is working.
Hmm. Okay. And sorry, so address doesn't change. Staking is new. Now the staking reward, there was a mining reward, and now there's a staking reward. The supply curve didn't change, right?
Well, the supply curve, we did a voting process, and the conclusion of this voting process was to reduce the supply curve that we have, of course adjusted for I mean the time that we are releasing, right? But yeah, it's essentially the same.
And that's where the APY or the percentage reward come from.
Exactly. And something different. Well, in the proof of work, the miners get rewarded by mining blocks. In this case, block validators get rewards by producing blocks. And also, those users who are not validators but they just want to stake, they can also select a validator or a stake pool, and they are also going to get some of those rewards.
And how are the rewards calculated?
So the rewards are calculated based on the supply curve, but also they are calculated. The validators, they need to produce blocks every second, and that's like the target or the expectation time. But if they fail to do so, then the reward is going to be a little reduced a little bit in terms of how slow or they were producing blocks.
And how much can users expect as a reward?
Well,
Or
it depends.
what is it dependent?
Yeah, it depends upon the pool, right, that they choose, because remember that each pool is going to manage the rewards as they want. So essentially, all the it's going to be dependent upon the pool, or if you take to an individual validator.
Okay. And how much? We have a staking calculator.
Yes, we have some staking calculator, so that will give you a more precise estimate of how much is the reward, and also, well, that depends as how much stake there is in the selected pool and how much the person is staking.
You can check the staking calculator in nimiq.com. In general, we are expecting something between 10% and 15, 40%, 14%, right?
Something around those lines, yes. And okay, we have the last block.
Yes, I see it here. Yeah, 10 blocks. Okay, 10 block confirmation ready.
Okay, so we have the 10 block confirmation now. And so now the validators, they are going to start producing the Genesis block. They need to wait a little bit because we also added like just like an extra secure check. But this is not the process to start is not going to take more than 1 minute. So soon you will see in the screen. Remember that what we are showing here is a real validator that is going through this process. So soon you will see in this screen that they are going to start calculating this Genesis block. Remember that the state of the Genesis block is going to be the one that we are extracting from the candidate block. So the candidate block is not 3456010, but is 3456000. That's the final block that we are using.
Okay. Computing is being done. Everybody here is celebrating. If you hear claps.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. What is happening now?
Okay,
Claudio?
so now it's moving really fast, but essentially the tool is scanning all the validators, all the staking transactions that occurred, and now we start creating the accounts state for proof of stake. So meaning that we are scanning all the accounts, all the balances, all that have occurred in the proof of work chain, and now we are creating this big account data because remember that this all this state is going into the Genesis block. So this is a really crucial moment because we need to make sure that all the state and all the accounts and everything is migrated properly. So this is currently what we are looking. This process is going to take some minutes. It depends upon the computing resources of each validator. It's a really computing intensive process. So we will see how long it takes, but we expect it to take I don't know, like 5 minutes, something around those lines.
So this is very interesting because or basically you guys have tested this with your own machines and your own testing scenarios, but now it includes the all the validators from the community that are actually joining. We did some tests in the past with the community, but of course now we have a larger number. And as Claudio said, this is depending on the computer that they have, and the decentralized nature of this process is making it. It's let's see how much it takes.
Yes. So now here we can see that this validator, he finished generating the Genesis block. So now they all need to generate the same Genesis hash, which is this one that is here. And when they remember that this process is run by every validator, so every validator needs to get to the same Genesis hash. And with this Genesis hash, they are going to report to the network that they are ready. Once we have or we reach the 80% of the represented stake as ready, then we are going to start the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain. So we are now in the last phase of the activation process. We are just waiting for the validators to report as ready. So this is the last step. We have 5.7 billion of NIM staked. That's the active stake that we have. So we need the 80% of the validators representing that stake to be ready. And once we reach that, then we are going to start the proof of stake chain. So how much stake we need? Well, it's the 80%. So it's like 4.5 billion NIM to report us ready. So now it's a matter of just waiting for the transactions, for the ready transactions to be included. And once we have enough validators ready, we are going to start the proof of stake chain. So we are in the
the last step of the last step.
Last
So now
step.
we're waiting for all validators to compute the Genesis block and the Genesis hash. For those people that for those that are not that technical, a Genesis hash basically is the fingerprint, right? That compiles the information in a way of the entire Genesis block and the entire
Exactly.
history of proof of work.
Yes, so this Genesis hash is going to contain all the accounts and balances of proof of work. And as soon as this is over, remember, we are going to commit this Genesis to the repository, and we are going to create the first official Nimiq Proof of Stake release, such that anyone can join the network without having to go through the migration process.
Okay, and right now there different validators that are becoming ready, right? Is the validator we're looking at ready now?
So currently we don't have any validator ready because we are waiting for those transactions to be included.
Okay. So first the Genesis block computation, and then we will begin to see validators getting ready.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And for anybody that is looking to see the same, to watch the same that we're looking at here, you can go to X, and in the pin tweet there is a link to the migration monitor that you are looking below. So this is going to start lighting up anytime soon, and you'll see the different validators becoming ready as they compute the Genesis hash, and all have to show or send the transaction with the same Genesis hash, right?
Exactly. They need to send to report us ready with the same Genesis hash. And once we have all the validators as ready, then we are going to start the proof of stake chain.
Okay, cool. So I want to send a final, share this with everybody from the community. This live stream is not yet over. We are waiting for the final step. So if you know somebody that is into crypto, if you know some Nimiq supporters out there that are not around, send this. We are live streaming in YouTube, in X, and in Facebook. This is, I think, one of our first live streams, not the first one. So this is a crucial moment in Nimiq Proof of Stake. So now we are waiting for the Genesis computation to be done. And while we do that, let's wait a second for Claudio, who's taking care of some technical stuff, and we'll be back in a second.
Okay, so now we are back and we have 94% of validators ready. So now we are starting the Nimiq Proof of Stake chain. The last step that we are doing is updating our seed nodes with this latest Genesis that was created. So once the seed nodes are updated, then the validators are going to be able to connect to each other and start creating the first blocks.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to let Claudio go to the technical team to work on this. Thanks a lot for joining, Claudio. Okay. And yes. Okay. So in here, the entire technical team now is meeting. They are finalizing the last details. So seed nodes are online. And after that, all these validators will begin producing the first block of the proof of stake chain. So this is very exciting. If you're around watching this in YouTube, come and join us on Telegram. Come and join us on Discord. And yes, we've achieved, over 80%. And this is one of the final steps. After this, we are going to start seeing the first blocks being produced, and this is amazing. I mean, you cannot believe the energy that we have here. Everybody is looking into their monitors, like finalizing the last details, and you'll be able to. Let's talk a little bit about what is going to happen for end users after this. We are going to be having the block first, the blockchain started producing blocks by the validators, right? And after that, the wallet is going to be available in a few minutes. So there's going to be a warning up to an hour after the migration, and after the warning is gone, you can begin using the wallet now with proof of stake. So as we take some time to enable proof of stake in the wallet, you can join us in Telegram and Discord and talk about this. We'll be all celebrating, and then the wallet is going to enable you to start doing staking. Keep in mind everything that we talked about before of the staking pools, how to select a staking pool. There are a bunch of staking pools out there, and if somebody's interested in running a staking pool, come and join us. The Nimiq Proof of Stake blockchain is, new, and there's a lot of attention on Nimiq. We have been trending recently. A lot of people in the community are finding also where to stake. We will be doing more events with the community pools, so everybody can get to know the operators behind them, also the different features that they allow. Like I said at the beginning, we have things like automatic restaking. Also, there's dynamic fees from a staking pool that is caring a lot for decentralization. So basically, when they go above a certain level of stake, then they increase their fees to make it less attractive, so users don't join that pool, and they help with decentralization. Kudos to Ace Mining and the developers behind Ace Mining, because this is one of the things that proves how decentralized and how idealistic in a way is the Nimiq community. That economic incentives are always important to keep the machine working, but also in Nimiq cares a lot about the end users, the new users that get into crypto, transparency, decentralization, and it's so nice to see that the community shares the same core values that we started with this project with. So thanks a lot for everybody out there. We see here the different validators, and we see their amount. If you want to see this information, also you can find it in blockchain explorer, that is Nimiq Hub. So kudos to the developer behind Nimiq Hub. We're going to be sharing this information in a blog post soon after the migration has been completed. So also we have a community made blockchain explorer. You also can use Nimiq Watch, which is the blockchain explorer that we've used so far to see the migration, the pre-staking, and all these amounts. But as soon as we start proof of stake, the community blockchain explorers are the ones that are going to be enabled with proof of stake. So, okay, the wallet is going to be enabled in some time, some minutes after the migration is completed. Then we have a new blockchain explorer, which is Nimiq Hub. Then we also have new projects being developed in proof of stake already. There's some developers that have been working on proof of stake projects in the last months. You can find also in X that we have a Twitter space or an X space, right, with developers from the community. We'll keep doing that. If you're a developer that is interested, you just found about Nimiq and you're curious about proof of stake, we have a great developer experience. They say we have a developer center where you can see all the documentation, and you can reach out to the team and recommend if you need tutorials, if you want help. The team is very responsive in that regard. And we also have community development funding. So if you have an idea of something that you want to create now that proof of stake is out, then you can request for funding. And we have allocated funds in NIM for anybody that wants to start trying out something. Maybe they need a server to be run, so they need expenses for that. Maybe they want a code audit done by the team. Maybe they want support with UI UX design. So all that we help to empower the community. We think this is very important. Nimiq is about empowering everybody, including developers, to build their own solutions, and that's what we're after. So if you are looking for a new project to get started, take a look at Nimiq, and we'll be happy to support you there. We are going to be updating also the website in the coming days. We have new pages, like a staking page that is going to be added to the website. We have also some information about the Nimiq token, information about the tokenomics, if you will, about Nimiq. We have an FAQ for staking that is going to come out soon. And we have a little bit of a brand new look that you're going to be able to see. We are also going to be doing a lot of adoption efforts, like Max and Martin shared before. We even got already some comments of people that heard about Cryptocity and want to run or manage their own Cryptocity. So join us in Telegram and Discord, reach out to the team, and we are going to help you, like Max said, with marketing content, with funding if you need it, to start creating a meetup, to start scouting for different projects in your city that can join the Cryptocity. and we can start helping each other build towards mass adoption of crypto payments, which is what we are after. And with proof of stake, mass adoption is going to be even one step closer, as we already talked of the technical details. There are going to be a lot of new things for users. Staking is one of them, and of course that's very interesting for crypto users already. But for somebody that is a new user into the Nimiq ecosystem, using a wallet that allows you to pay in 1 second is going to really change the game for Nimiq in general. Right now, 1 minute is okay, but for a real life scenario, uh, confirmations or transactions in 1 second are going to be amazing. We're going to be doubling up on adoption efforts, and we're going to be scouting for even more new partners. There's some partners that already Max announced. We have a lot under our sleeve that we will be communicating in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned, and we are going to be letting you know a lot of new exciting updates soon. Let's wait for the technical team to finish on this last detail, and as we get there, we'll be back soon, and well, we'll be talking when the migration is getting close. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm here with the technical team. They are taking some fine tuning, some last steps, and it is taking a little bit longer than expected. We're working with all the community validators, and as soon as this is proof of stake is live, producing blocks, we are going to let you know in X and all the other social media. So stay tuned to that. For now, we're going to stop the live stream, and we are going to go back to finalize everything so that proof of stake can be live. We'll let you know. So stay tuned to X. Thanks for joining. Thanks a lot, Claudio, and everybody that helped. Martin, Max, here we are super excited. There's still some steps that need to be done, and we'll see you in Telegram and Discord. If you follow everything closely, just check our X. We'll be posting all the updates there. So see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for joining me, and goodbye.